If you hear this voice in Japan, don't answer. In the video I am gone. Nah. Tell you about a very dangerous voice that you should never answer. If you hear it while in Japan. The voice I'm talking about is this one. This voice has caused many people to lose their lives and even entire families to vanish into thin air. So make sure to watch this video until the end, so you won't make the same mistakes as these people. While in Japan, there are many things that you have to be careful of. For example, in Tokyo, you gotta be careful of in Osaka, you gotta be careful of crazy people. And in Kyoto, you gotta be careful of old people. But besides these things, there's another thing you have to be careful of while in Japan, and that is this voice. This voice usually happens when you're walking down the street and you hear someone call your name. Now, it might just be a Japanese person calling out to you to say hello. Or maybe they want to ask you for directions. But if you hear this voice, don't answer. The voice I'm talking about is this one. This voice is known as Nami o Hanashite Kudasai, which means please tell me your name. But if you hear this voice, please do not tell them your name. The reason being is that this voice belongs to a yurei, which is a Japanese word for ghost. So, if you hear this voice while in Japan, don't answer. I know it might seem rude to just ignore the person who called out to you, but if you don't, you might just end up like this person, or even worse. When you first hear the voice, you might think it's a normal Japanese person asking to speak with you. So, you might reply with a hi, o genki desu ka, or yes, how can I help you? But when you do this, the ghost will become very happy and excited. Bihio. It'll start to ask you more questions, like where you're from, how old you are, and even what your name is. And once you'll tell the ghosts all of this information, it'll become even happier and start to get very close to you. But before you know it, the ghost will start to put its hands all over you and try to drag you away. So if this happens to you, you've got to fight back and try to push the ghost off of you. Because once the ghost gets its hands off of you, it'll start to suck the life out of you and you won't be able to move. Then the ghost will take your soul and drag it down to hell. So if you ever find yourself in this situation, you need to do 3 things. First, you need to take salt and sprinkle it all over yourself. The ghost won't be able to stand the salt and will start to run away. Then you need to immediately go home and lock yourself in your room. You also need to turn off all of the lights and stay under your blanket until morning. If you do all of these things, you'll be able to survive the night. But if you don't, well, let's just say you won't be coming back home. Now, I know this story sounds fake, and that you're probably thinking this is just some made-up horror story to scare tourists. But actually there were even news reports about this. In fact, there was a case where a 30-year-old man answered to this voice and disappeared. His name was Koki. He was strolling through the streets of Tokyo when he heard someone call his name. He turned around and saw a middle-aged woman standing in front of him. She asked him where the nearest train station was. So he pointed towards the station. That was the last place he was ever seen. His family had put up missing posters everywhere, but never got any solid lead. Some believe that he ran away, but his family insists that he would never do that. So if you ever hear this voice while in Japan, don't answer. I hope you take my advice and don't make the same mistake as this man. If you want to hear other scary stories from Japan, then make sure to click the link in the description below. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.